Hello friends, happy Tuesday. It's time for another episode of Tuesday Live at 5. This is Lena Gersa. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada. And today I am all about the adorable Trucking Along bundle from the Stampin' Up! Online store. Now Stampin' Up! Has always had some products that were available only online, meaning they weren't ever printed in a catalog. However, they have since expanded their offering, really this year, and we just had a new release of products at the beginning of this month, and the Trucking Along bundle was one of them. Now, I have to tell you, this has been an extremely popular bundle. It is a stamp and punch bundle, and it has been going in and out of stock since it launched, really. And currently, the punch is out of stock. So you can still get the stamp set, but the punch is not available. However, I'm going to show you some projects today that use the stamp set, and you don't really need the punch to be able to use the stamp set. The punch is an added bonus. I'm going to show you one card that I used only the punch, but then I'm also going to show you two cards where I use the stamp set and no punch. So you will see that there's great versatility. And here's the other thing. If this is one that's going to go on your wish list, when the punch does come back in stock, you'll have this video to refer back to for some inspiration, right? All right, so we're going to get to it. Let me see if I can get my iPad to load here. It has been not loading. It may actually be finally at the end of its life. So this iPad that I have is my son's iPad mini that we got him when he was, I think, 5. He's now 16, so it is old, and it has been used and abused by that child. And I'm amazed that it still even turns on, to be honest. And I don't think it's not going to load. I can see my picture on my Facebook page, but I don't think that it is going to load my Facebook feed here. I keep getting an unable to load. Let's see if we can get it to come up. It sure would be nice to be able to see your comments while I'm working, but it may not be. Actually, you know what? What I can do, I have my laptop right here. I can pull up my laptop. And we'll watch comments on the laptop instead of the iPad, because I think the iPad may just need to have a funeral. I think it's done. Let's see if we can find my video on my laptop. And then I don't need to worry about the iPad that doesn't seem to want to do anything today. Oh, look at that. There it is. Let me just make sure I'm on mute here, because you don't need to listen to my voice. Mute. There we go. All right. Now I can see comments. Okay, where am I going to put this thing now? It's a lot bigger than my iPad. We'll put it over here. I may not be able to see comments quite as well, but it's better than nothing, right? Okay, there we go. Hi, Karen. Hi, Linda. Hi, Tracy. Oh, the chonky kitty is sleeping on the deck. She's passed out. She was a royal pain in my neck, literally, this afternoon. And I banished her. Actually, I sent that photo that I posted to my son and said, help me, please. And he came and got her. And she bothered him for a while. And then he kicked her out and she went, and she's napping on the deck right now, which is actually where I wouldn't mind being, to be honest. Not that I don't love all of you, but it is a beautiful day here. And it would be great to be outside on the deck. All right. Hi, Deb. I hope you are recovered from your big hailstorm there the other day. All right. So, Trucking Along, as I mentioned, the punch is currently out of stock, but you know what? I had planned to use this product, and I'm going to go ahead because the punch will eventually come back in stock. And as I said, you'll have this video for inspiration. Okay. So I'm going to stop yip yapping, and I'm going to flip the camera, and we're going to get to it. So let me just do that. Here we go. There's my now defunct iPad. I think there may need to be a trip to the Apple store for a new iPad very shortly. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I know it's old, Karen. Now you can see why it's really not functional anymore. Let me see if I can get this to actually get big. There we go. Now it's full screen. And can I see your comments? There we go. Now we're good. I can see full screen. I can see your comments. It's better than the iPad. Who needs an iPad, right? Hi, Jean. Oh, you're in Maryland. Welcome. Yep, a shopping trip, Deb. A very expensive shopping trip, but one nonetheless. All right, unless I can convince my son to give me his current iPad and then we can get him a new one. No, I deserve a new one, right? I think so. I work hard. All right, so here we go. Trucking Along bundle. Super, super cute. I know there are some of you who have ordered this who are still waiting for it to arrive. Shipping is very backed up. That is a fact of life these days, and summer does not help because people are on vacation and things take longer. So this bundle, if you have ordered it, rest assured it is coming. However, you need to know that the punch currently, if you have not yet ordered it, you won't be able to get the punch for a while. Okay, so Trucking Along, super, super cute, adorable little truck. There are several images that fill in the outline. So there's clouds and a Christmas tree and of course the truck. And this is a palm tree and surfboard. We got presents, we got flowers, we got more flowers, we got trees. So lots of two-step stamping on this one. You're going to see that in action today, but I also really like coloring with my blends. So you're going to see that on the first card we do. And then of course the adorable little truck builder. The second card we're going to make uses only the punch. So I'll show you that one and we're going to get to it. So let me set this aside. And all right. Yes, lots of stampers have it, Karen, and I know lots of people are going to want it, so I thought I would just get this done. I had already planned it, and you know, whenever you get it, and then you'll have it. You can always come back to this video. All right, hi Pam, how are you? Look at this. Okay, so I'm not sure if you're aware, but there is a Barbie movie coming out. There has been so much hype around this Barbie movie, or maybe it's already out. I don't even know. That's how up on current events I am this summer. But I have to say, I was, as a child, a huge Barbie fan. Myself and my two friends would play for hours in either their basement or our basement with our Barbies, and we loved everything Barbie and everything pink. So this is my ode to Barbie. So this is the Barbie Dream Truck, and she is off to celebrate a birthday with appropriate pink gifts. So here we go. I thought this would be a fun twist on this this stamp set. So let's get started. Let me pull out my bits here. So I have, just to start, a piece of basic white cardstock that is 4 by 5¼ inches. And then this is a strip of the Delightfully Eclectic DSP from the annual catalog. It's 1 by 5¼ Okay, somebody is at my door. I hope my son answers it because I'm not doing it right now. So I'm going to just line this up on my grid paper here. And I'm going to do this just a teeny, no, maybe not. So it's going to go about a ½ inch up from the bottom. And you'll notice that I flipped my DSP over so that the wrong side is up. Now I'm going to bring in my little present stamp, and we are going to stamp along the top edge of that DSP. And I flipped it over just so that in case I happen to nip the top edge of the DSP with my stamp, it doesn't matter because it's going to get flipped over. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my present stamp. Now this is really hard to do because I can't look straight down. So I'm going to try and do these fairly straight without overlapping. We'll see how this goes. Ooh, I got a big blob on there. Let's stamp that off and see if we can get rid of that big blob of ink. This ink pad is dry in some spots and very juicy in others. Somebody needs to give it a massage with a spoon. There we go. Okay, so there are our presents. And as you can see, I did happen to nip along the edge of that DSP, but we're going to flip it over and we won't even see that. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to bring in a strip of black cardstock. This is 1 1/8 inches by 5¼ So we're going to layer our DSP on that. So let me find my glue here. Hi, Flo. Welcome. Hi, Julie. All right, actually I can see you guys better on my laptop. This is actually maybe a happy accident. Maybe this is what's going to push me into using StreamYard and going live to YouTube and Facebook at the same time. This may be just what does it. All right, what did I do with my scissors? There they are, behind me. Actually, we're good. Okay, so that is going to get glued onto our stamped panel there. So I'm going to add just a little bit of liquid glue. Yeah, it's my Barbie card. Yes, Karen. I thought, why not? Right? It's all about the Barbies right now. Everywhere you look, there is Barbie everything. So I thought, if you can't beat them or play with them, I guess I could technically. We may as well just make a card. All right, so we're going to mat this on a piece of basic black cardstock, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So again, we'll add a little bit of glue here. And pop this on. Right about there. See if I can get that centered a bit better. There we go. Okay, and then that is going to go on a bubble bath card base. I love bubble bath and basic black. I think they're a fantastic combination. So this is 5.5 by 8.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. So we will fold that in half along our score line. And then we're going to pop this one on there. Just like that. Okay, and now we're going to work on our truck. So I have a little bit of scrap white cardstock here. And we're going to stamp our truck in Memento Black. Let's make sure that that is good and juicy. So there's our truck. Okay, we are going to add our presents. Now, here's the thing. When you are adding cargo to the back of your truck, you cannot use the punch, which is why you're not going to see me use the punch on this. We're actually going to fussy cut it. Now, if you wanted to, let me just say, you could punch out the truck, stamp the presents separately and fussy cut it, and then adhere them to the truck afterwards. That's another possibility. But since the punch is on back order, I'm just going to show you how I made my card without using the punch. Okay? All right. Oh, that's it. All right, so there we go. We are going to do a little coloring. So I'm using my Bubble Bath blends. And to start, I'm going to come in with my light. I'm going to color about half the truck. Again, because you don't want the ink to dry in between shading. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of do half for now. We'll go around the door or window here. And the door. There we go. We'll do about that much. And then I'm going to come in with my dark. And I'm going to add some shadows kind of around the fender and along the baseboard. And then I'm going to come back with my light and blend that out. Now, Bubble Bath is one of my very favorite new additions to the core color families. It is a much needed soft pink, but it's actually got quite a bit of purple in it. So depending what you put it with, it can read as almost like a mauvey pink, but it really is on its own a beautiful soft shade of pink that, as I said, we have been desperately needing for quite some time. All right, so we're going to add again a little bit of shadow here around the fender. Back there, and then again blend it out just like that. Okay, now we need to color our presents, so we're gonna shade this little guy with the light, and then I'm gonna come in on the stripe here with the dark, and then we're gonna do this large gift in the dark as well. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to come in with my pool party. I wanted to add a little bit of color to the window here. So I'm just going to come in with my light pool party. Just like that. And then as well, I'm going to fill in the rest of the present image here. Now, if you were ambitious and you really wanted to do some more coloring, you certainly could color all of the stamped presents that we did on the front of the card. I wanted to save time, so I'm going to leave them black and white. I actually kind of like the contrast because I feel like it makes the ones in the truck stand out a little bit more. But again, if you love to color, you can certainly keep going. All right, we are going to add some gray hubcaps here. So we're going to kind of come around here, and I need to stamp my wheels and hubcaps, or bearings, I guess. So we are going to use, there is a stamp that actually fills those in. So we're going to use that stamp again with some black ink and ink that up. And when you're stamping this, my tip to line it up is to just focus on the centers of the wheels, and the rest kind of takes care of itself. Okay, now there it's a little bit off, but I'm going to show you a little tip for correcting your little oopsies. You're going to bring in your dark black. Yes, there's such a thing as dark black in Stampin' Up! World. And we're just going to touch up that edge so that it doesn't look like we've got half a tire. And there we go. Quick and easy, right? All right, now we're going to fussy cut this. Oh, use the punch, turn it upside down and punch out the window. Oh, that's so smart. Where were you earlier, Karen, when I got ink on the window? That is so smart. So smart. Thank you for that hot tip. Now I kind of want to try it because, well, I have to stamp later. So stay tuned. I may actually end up trying that trick, Karen. The last card that we're going to do, I'm going to stamp the solid image on the truck. So we'll see what happens. If we end up with a little oopsie, we're going to put your little tip into action. Because I could have used that earlier today. Just saying. All right, so we're just going to cut this out. This is not a difficult image to fussy cut, as you can see. I'm even doing it while talking, which is almost unheard of because you know me and doing two things at once. Bad things happen. I put glue in the wrong spots. I glue things upside down, all of that sort of thing. And so I should do a blooper reel, actually. I've probably got enough for a pretty lengthy blooper video by now of all of the mistakes I've made on live video. Oh well, we all make them, right? And to pretend otherwise would not be honest. Mistakes are just part of... Mistakes are not mistakes. They're opportunities for creativity and to embellish. All right, so there's my truck. We're going to pop that up with some dimensionals. Okay, thanks for that tip, Karen. I will credit whomever it was if I can find their video. But in the meantime, if we need that tip, we are going to use it later on. All right, so let's get rid of our backings here and pop this cute little Barbie truck onto our card here. There we go. And then our sentiment, I've already gone ahead and stamped and heat embossed it in white. We are going to cut straight along this edge because we're actually going to have it sort of coming on from the side of our card. So we're going to put that on, we're going to pop it up and then add our bow. So we'll go a 1 and a 2. And we're going to pop this on. Right about there. Hopefully that's somewhat straight. It doesn't look quite straight. There we go. Nope, that's worse. Made it worse, Lena. You made it worse. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and add a sweet little bow with some of this yummy bubble bath ribbon. This just screams Barbie to me. This sheer ribbon with the silver and the shiny. I think I had a Barbie dress that had silver and pink and satiny like this. I'm sure I must have. So cute. I don't know whatever happened to all my Barbies. I'd really like to know. I'm sure my mom probably donated them at some point. Probably when they were moving. She had to clean out her house. I was away at school when that happened, and I don't think I was consulted on a lot of my stuff. I think it all just went to wherever. All right, so there we go. It's our cute little bow. And where's my glue dots? There they are. We're going to add a glue dot to the knot. Hi, Cheryl. You love a blooper video. Well, Deb, hang around with me long enough and you're sure to get a laugh or two. May even happen yet today. You just never know. All right, let's add a little bit of bling. What's a Barbie card without bling? So we're going to add a 1 and a 2 and a 3. There is our fun Barbie card. Now on the inside of my sample, I need a drink of water. I've got a catch in my throat. I just stamped more presents along the bottom and left it blank. So you could do this as a birthday card. You could even do this as a cute baby card, right? How cute would that be if you put welcome baby or for baby or something on the inside? Super cute. All right, there we go. Barbie card number 1, done. The rest of my promise will not be Barbie cards. I made it sound like there were going to be more Barbie cards. There won't. All right, let's just straighten things out here and move on. So here is number 2. So I promised you one that used only the punch. So here it is. This was inspired by one of the artisans. I can't remember which one, but there was a card where they had stamped the truck and done it against this beautiful Merry Melody embossing folder. And of course, being a music teacher, I had to case it. So here we go. Not sure what's going on with my throat here, girls. We'll tell you, I've just done more talking in the last 10 minutes than I have all weekend because I've been working on my BOGO all weekend. All right, so here we go. Let's get all our bits out of the way. So here is our embossed background. This again, 4 by 5 1/4, embossed with the Merry Melody embossing folder. So to start, we're going to work on this wood cut here. So this uses the Tree Rings hybrid embossing folder. So I've die cut it and embossed it in basic gray. And then we're going to add some shading. So I'm going to start with basic, sorry, did I say basic gray? It's Grey Granite. I lied. It's Grey Granite. So I'm going to bring in my Grey Granite ink, and we are going to do a little bit of shading with our small blending brush all the way around here. This just brings out that beautiful wood grain embossed pattern. So I'm going to kind of come all the way across with that shade. Then I'm going to come in with Pebbled Path, which is the perfect partner ink for Grey Granite. So if you were looking to get an ombre effect or do sort of a gradual sort of shaded look, these are the two that work really, really well together. So again, I'm going to come on around the edges. Of course, I want the outer edge to be a little bit darker because that's bark, right? And we're going to come on all the way around, but not as far as we did with the Grey Granite. So there we go. There is our wood cut. Okay, so that's going to serve as the backdrop for our truck. So we'll set that aside and let it dry. Now we're going to work on assembling our adorable little truck here. So the punch has obviously the truck, which you can use facing either direction. I'm going to stick with it going to the left. It punches out the wheels. It punches out the fenders. And then, as Karen mentioned, it punches out the window. Okay. So as you can see, I'm not sure, does it show? I did some shading on my punch pieces, and that is a big thing for me with punch art. It's actually recommended to me by my dear friend, Michelle Soot, who is a punch art goddess, for adding dimension to your punch shapes. So I'm going to be, this is punched from Real Red cardstock, and I am going to do some shading along the edges with Cherry Cobbler. So I'm going a shade darker than the cardstock. Okay, you could do the same. You could do tone on tone. I like to do a shade a little bit darker. I just feel like it just defines it a little bit more. Okay, so there's my truck. I'm going to do the same with my fenders. Now I have to think about which way my fenders are going to go. They're going to go this way, right? Front and back. So we're going to ink these guys up. Okay, I'm not worrying too much about that inside bit. It's really hard to get a dauber in there. So I'm really just doing the outer edges here. Okay, so that's those little guys. Then we're going to come in and do the window with some Balmy Blue. So I punched the window out of Pool Party cardstock, and I'm going to do my shading with just a little smidge of Balmy Blue here. There we go. Okay. All right. We are ready to start assembling our truck. Now, before we do, we're going to stamp our little Farm Fresh, whenever I find it. Where did I put it? It is in this one. We're going to stamp Farm Fresh on the door in black. Oh, so cute. Deb, you could probably wing downhill skis with some cardstock and your paper snips. I bet you could come up with that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and stamp our Farm Fresh. And then, oh, I missed some comments. I'm sorry. Hi, Joyce. This is only our second card, so you're only one behind. You're not too far out of the loop. All right, so we're going to start by gluing our wheels on. So I'm going to put a little dab of liquid glue and then add wheel number 1. Okay, and then when I do this, I always like to have my truck kind of sitting so that my wheels actually are the same height. Because if I try to wing it, I'll end up with something that looks like some monster truck that doesn't quite look like it's roadworthy. All right, so there are my wheels. Now we're going to add our fenders. So again, just a little dab of liquid glue here. And we'll add those. So there's one. And two. How cute is that already? Okay, we're gonna add our window. And you need like next to no glue for this, right? Like they're such teeny tiny pieces. So we'll pop that on. There we go. Now we need a Christmas tree. So these, well, I'm gonna ask you, can you guess which die set these little Christmas trees came from? It's one I featured a few weeks ago. I'll give you a second. Well, you are thinking, I'm gonna glue. So I'm gonna add a little bit of seal to the bed of my truck here on the back. Now you're all probably looking in your catalogs trying to figure out where I got these from. And you're not watching me. All right, I'm going to tell you because I don't want you to miss this because it's cute. These are from the Zany Zoo dies. You know, the cute little animals. So there are dies that kind of go with every hobby, and this is kind of intended for the camping or outdoorsy person. So there you go. That's where those little trees came from. All right, so I'm going to bring back my background piece. We are going to glue our woodcut on. I'm going to use some liquid glue. So it's going to go right close to that right edge there. Okay. And then I have a little tree. This is cut using the 1-horse open sleigh dies, which you are going to see in action next week on my live. Next week is the 25th. So I thought it only appropriate that we do Christmas in July next week. This is your preview of Christmas in July. Let's just say, let's put it that way. Get that last little bit of backing off there. And it is going to go on right about there. Now that doesn't want to stick. I need to put my hand over it for a second. Make sure it stays put. Okay. And then also cut from using the 1-horse open sleigh dies, I cut some snow. So we're going to put our large snowdrift in behind. Our truck is going to sit on top, and then our smaller snowdrift is going to kind of come. So our truck is driving between the snowdrifts, dashing through the snowdrifts to get a Christmas tree. So we're going to add a little bit of glue here. Yeah, you needed that anyway, Deb. The Zany Zoo bundle. You absolutely did. Okay, so here we go. All right, now this is going to get glued. We're not going to pop it up. We are going to pop up our front snowdrift. So this is going to get glued flat again. So we're going to add a little bit of glue, not too much to the trees because there are little slits cut in the trees and we don't want to have glue oozing through our trees there. So we're going to stick that one on. And then we are going to add our snow. But before we do that, we're going to give our truck some wheel bearings or hubcaps. So these are our brushed metallic dots. I think they're called brushed metallic dots. They're in the catalog. They've been around for a couple of years. So I'm using the smaller sort of brassy colored ones. You could probably use any color. I just felt like that color worked with my color scheme here. And then we're going to go ahead and add our snowdrift on the front. So I'm going to use some mini dimensionals there. So we'll just kind of do a 1 and a 2. See if I need to use a half mini there. Thankfully, I still have some half minis from the last video I did. So we're just going to grab those and tuck them in at the ends here. And we'll get rid of our backings. And this is where my lack of a right thumbnail becomes very problematic. I broke it the other day. And it really is an impairment when you're trying to stamp. Or at least take dimensional backings off. There we go. So there's our truck dashing through the snow. All right, now we need to work on our sentiment. So I have here a die cut using the Radiating Stitches die. That's another online exclusive. And there are lots of those in stock, so grab some. They're super cute. You're going to see them on the last card as well. And I'm going to stamp my 'Tis the Season. So this is from, I should know the name of this set because it's been around. It's in the annual catalog. It was around last year. Can't think of the name of it right now. Somebody who has a catalog can look it up for me. So I've just stamped that in black. We're going to layer it on a die cut in real red. Oh, look at that on the back of my die cut there. And that is cut using the Stylish Shapes dies. Okay. Whoops. Yep, let's drop it glue side down, Lena. That was smart. And there we go. We'll wipe that glue off because that's going to cause me problems later. You know it will. All right, so this is going to go sort of up in that upper left corner. We're going to, I kind of was envisioning it as a little bit of an ornament. So I'm going to bring in my black gingham and I'm going to add a glue dot, sort of where I think this is going to go. And I just need a little smidge of this ribbon because it's going to wrap around the back and look like my little ornament is hanging from the top of the card. So that is secured. And then we're going to pop this up with a couple of dimensionals. Brightest glow. Thank you, Louise. See, Louise, I need you on every live. When you miss, people go uninformed because I can't remember. What would we do without you? All right, so this is going to get centered under my little ribbon there. And then we're going to tie a cute little bow. And this is where the glue that is on my finger is going to cause me problems because it's going to stick to the ribbon. But, you know, we just have to learn to live with these things. All right, so there we go. We're going to trim our tails and then add a glue dot to our knot. And then that's going to go right at the top, just like that. Okay. And then that is going to get glued onto a basic, not basic gray, Grey Granite card base. Again, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So we will crisp that up and add, I'm going to add my adhesive on my card base, again, because I have a very deeply etched embossed image on my white cardstock, and I do not want to tear it with my adhesive. So we'll go ahead and layer that. Just like that. So cute. And then a few little snowflakes. These, again, are another online exclusive. These adorable foil snowflakes. Again, you're going to see more of these in action next week. I'm featuring that whole One Horse Open Sleigh bundle, or suite, I guess. And this is part of it. But for now, you're going to get your little sneak peek this week. So we'll add a few of these little fellas. I'm going to see if I can pry at the edge of this and tuck it under. There we go. There is our cute little Christmas card. All right, now on the inside of this one, I just stamped a sentiment. This is actually from the Trekking Along stamp set. So there we go. Cute little holiday card. All right, last one. You know, with a truck stamp that I had to make a slider card. So here we go. Let me just rearrange here so I can get my hands on the right supplies. All right, here we go. So if anything's going to go wrong, it's going to be on this card because, you know, anytime I do a fun fold, it's always a little nerve-wracking. But here we go. So I had to do a fall card because, you know, fall is coming. Not too soon, but it is coming. And I love all things fall. So if you've been following me for any length of time, you know that fall is my season. I love the fall colors. I love fall images. I got married in the fall. Fall is my favorite time of year. So here we go. Here's our little truck with a load of pumpkins heading from the pumpkin patch. All right. So I'm going to show you how to put this together. Slider cards are easy, even though I may screw this up. Okay, I have to confess, when I was making my sample, I actually glued the card front on upside down. Who has not done that? So I very carefully pried it off using this spatula end of your take your pick is your best friend when you're trying to pry up layers that are not where they need to be, and managed to get it turned around. I had to sacrifice the card base, but that's okay. All right, here we go. Let's do it. So to start, I have my card front. Now I'm going to explain where this came from. So the last time I made a slider card, it has been a number of years. It was actually when we had the word window punch. Do you remember that? It's been around. It's been gone for a long time. So you need some kind of a slot that your slider is going to move along, right? So we have in the Wonderful Thoughts dies this long, narrow rectangle, and it is the perfect little slot for a slider card. And lo and behold, wouldn't you know that the foam adhesive strips fit perfectly in that little slot. So there we go. Insta slider cards. Now that I know that, you're going to see more slider cards from me. So to do this, I've already done the die cutting, obviously, but what I did is I glued my 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece. This DSP is from the Let's Go Fishing
DSP pack. Okay. It's glued on a Mossy Meadow cardstock mat that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Okay, so I glued them first, then I die cut. Okay. This little slot, this little bit that comes out, look, I used it on the inside of my card because why waste it, right? So there we go. So that is the first step we've already done. Next, we are going to do a little bit of stamping on this piece. This is going to be sort of our backdrop. So again, another die cut from the Radiating Stitches dies. And we are going to stamp our little trees. So we're going to start stamping the trunks in Pecan Pie. So I got to make some space here. My space is getting crowded out here. So I'm going to stamp these at different heights because I wanted it to look a little bit like a forest. So some are going to be lower, some are going to be higher, just like that. Okay. And then we're going to come in with our crushed curry and pumpkin pie to give ourselves some fall foliage. So again, we're going to use the solid image stamp that comes in the stamp set. And we're going to ink our leaves or treetops with the crushed curry. And then I'm going to come in with what I thought, where's my pumpkin pie dauber? Oh, it's over there. Hold on. Here we go. I'm going to come in with my pumpkin pie dauber, and we're just going to do a little bit of random daubing on our foliage and then stamp. Okay, and we get some lovely fall color. Stamp off and repeat. So again, a little bit of orange. We'll line it up and stamp. And then one more. We'll line up and stamp. Okay, so that's all there is to that. Now, I didn't like that my tree trunks were not salt filled in, so we're going to use our Pecan Pie Light Stampin' Blend to fill in the tree trunks. So I'm just going to come in and just quickly do that. I'm not being super careful. There we go. Okay. Then I have some die cut pieces. These again are from same die that I used for the snow on the last card. But this time I've cut it from some scraps of One Horse Open Sleigh DSP, and we are going to kind of use it as hills on our truck card. Okay, so our truck is going to be kind of driving through some hilly forest. So we're going to add a little bit of glue and pop that one on there. Just want to make sure my trees are not floating, so I want to make sure they're actually contacting the DSP there. And then same thing here. We'll overlap a little bit. And there is our little hilly forest. Trim off our excess and we're good to go. Now if I wanted to, I could add this here. Maybe I will. Why not? Why waste it, right? We'll add just a little bit more there and trim that off. There we go. Okay, so then that is going to get glued right along the edge of our die cut slit there. Okay, and it needs to be centered. So we're going to add a little bit of liquid glue here. I'm sorry, Deb. You need this truck. You got lots of time to decide now because the punch is going to be out of stock for a while. Punches take a long time to take that slow trip from China once they're made. Now I'm just noticing that is kind of hanging off the edge, and that's going to cause problems. We're just going to trim that little bit off there and make sure it's a nice clean slit there for our truck to move along. Okay, so that is that. We're going to set that aside. We're going to work on our truck. So got a little scrap of very vanilla cardstock. And I'm going to bring in my truck. This time I'm going to stamp it in Early Espresso. So this is where it could get messy, guys, because I'm doing lots of two-step stamping here. So we'll see what happens. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so there's my truck. Then we're going to stamp the solid image in crushed curry. And we're going to hope that we don't catch the window, but if we do, we're going to use Karen's trick. And now I have to look right down over this because it is very hard to line up if you are not looking straight down at it. Oh, that wasn't bad. Didn't get quite enough ink there, but I can live with that. It looks like a rusty truck with faded paint. And then we are going to stamp the sideboards here. And I'm going to stamp the outline in Early Espresso. Side rails, that's the word I was trying to think of. I call them sideboards. Sideboard is something you have in your dining room. Sorry guys, I have to put this really close to me, so if you can't see it, I'm sorry. There, I stamped it. We're good. And then we're going to add the solid image, fill it in with some pecan pie. Again, moving it really close to me so I can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. Isn't that cute? So cute. All right, then we're going to stamp our wheels. Where did I put them? There we go. In black. So again, whenever you're doing this, you want to line up the 2 small dots and stamp. And you'll get it right pretty much every time. Okay. And then we're going to fill in the hubcaps again in some gray. I didn't like them being vanilla. Needed to be filled in. I'm going to color the bumper too there. There we go. Okay. Now we are going to, actually, no, we can't punch it out. I was going to say we're going to punch it out. No, we can't because we've got the side rails there. So we're going to fussy cut this one as well. Again, not hard to do. So we'll come around. I think I'm due for some new paper snips. It's been a few months since I got new ones. Did I tell you, I think I may have, that my husband used these very good scissors on packing tape. Yes, he was wrapping up a parcel to mail and he came in needing scissors and just grabbed the ones that he saw on my desk. My good paper snips. There are a million pairs of scissors in this house, I gotta tell you. He grabs the one pair, well, maybe the one of the 2 pairs he's not allowed to use. He's also not allowed to use my ribbon scissors. But yeah, we had words. He will never use them again. All right, there we go. How cute is that little truck? Now, to make my pumpkins, again, I had to rack my brain for where I could get a pumpkin shape. So these are from the dies that I featured last week, the Seasonal Branches dies. These are actually apples. But if you treat them right, they look like pumpkins. So I'm going to show you. I've already put 2 together. I'm going to show you how I did it. I just put my scissors down, and now I can't find them. There they are. So I'm going to take, I cut them out of, obviously, pumpkin pie and Mossy Meadow. So I'm going to take and trim the stem off of my pumpkin pie pumpkin. And I'm going to do a little bit of shading here. Make sure that's the right. I just realized as I grabbed that, I didn't even look to make sure that was the right color. Got lucky. There we go. I'm not going to worry about doing the bottom because we're not going to see the bottoms. And then I'm going to take my Mossy Meadow pumpkin and I'm going to trim off the sides. This is just going to make it easier to line up and not have bits kind of hanging out. So I'm going to just set that on my work surface. I'm going to put a little dab of glue there. And then I'm just going to layer my orange pumpkin over top. And there we go. We have 3 cute little pumpkins. So those are going to get glued to the back of our truck, like they are cargo in our truck. So I'm going to put a glue dot on the front, bottom, and we're going to arrange these in the back of our truck. So there's one. I really would love it if Stampin' Up! came out with an add-on set that had all sorts of different cargo for this truck. I think that is a must. I'm going to put that in the product idea sandbox because I think we need pumpkins for fall cards. So here we go. The last one. It's quite the load. Okay, so that is going to go on the front of our card like that. All right, now comes our slider assembly. So I'm going to bring in my card base. I have a pecan pie card base, same measurements as the last 2 cards, 5.5 by 8.5. So we'll go ahead and fold that. Yes, he is still. Yes, a camper would be perfect, or a trailer that the truck could pull. You could have a boat. You could do all sorts of things. All right, so there we go. Now, to make our slider, we need to create a sort of channel for our little tab here, our pull tab, to slide along. So we're going to flip this over. And I have here, this is just a 1/2 inch strip of very vanilla cardstock. And I am going to position this on so that the end of my tab here comes just past the end of my slit, okay? And you want this to go on fairly straight, okay? So I'm gonna put a mini dimensional here because that's gonna act as a stopper as soon as I find what I do with my mini dimensionals. Because we don't want our tab to slide all the way out, right? So we're gonna put a mini dimensional there. And then I'm gonna come in with my regular dimensionals, and we are just gonna kind of create a little bit of a channel here for our tab to slide through. So kind of 1, 2, 3. I'm putting them close to the tab, but not on it. Obviously, we don't want it to overlap because then the tab's not gonna move. So just like that, okay? And then that's gonna be able to slide across. And then we're gonna go ahead and add a couple more dimensionals just to make sure this thing stays popped and nice and flat. Just like that, okay? So we'll get rid of our backings with my non-functional thumbnail. I've tried using the take your pick to remove my backings. I just don't find, I can't get the hang of it. My thumbnail will always be my best crafting tool. All right, so we're gonna flip this over, okay? And we are going to, I'm gonna do it this way because I don't want to glue this upside down like I did earlier. We're gonna go ahead and glue this onto the front of our card. Just like that, okay? So then our little tab is gonna slide across like that, okay? Next, we're going to bring in one of our foam adhesive strips, and it doesn't have to be very long. In fact, it can't be any longer than the truck. So we're gonna take and, well, I'm gonna put it on here, but I just need to get an idea of the length. So we'll do about that much. Get rid of that little guy. And this is going to get stuck onto my tab in my little channel here. So I'm gonna stick it down right about there. I'm gonna peel off my backing, and I'm going to stick my truck to it. And then, whoopsie, my pumpkin is catching on something. What is my pumpkin catching on? There we go. There's my little slider. Okay, we didn't screw it up. Whew. Now this is a little long, this tab, so we're gonna trim it shorter. Right about there. And then we're going to add a little bit of ribbon to make it easier to pull. So I'm gonna slide this out. Yeah, my pumpkin keeps catching. I'm gonna have to adjust my pumpkin positioning there. And I'm gonna add a couple glue dots. So I'm gonna start with one in the middle. And it's gonna go right about there. And then I'm just gonna take another one with my take your pick and plunk it down there. And I'm gonna fold this guy over just like that. So we have our little pull tab, okay? Then we're gonna clean up our ends. I like to notch them because this ribbon will fray and it's gonna get a little bit of abuse being the pull tab on our card. So there's one. And there's two. So we'll slide that in. Okay, and then the last touch is adding our sentiment. So we'll set this aside for a second. And I have another one of our Radiating Stitches die cuts. We are going to add a little bit of color to this. I wanted to bring another pop of yellow, so we're going to bring in our blending brush and a little bit of crushed curry. And we're gonna add a little ink. Sorry, I haven't been paying attention to comments. I've been too busy worrying about screwing this card up. Let's see. Yeah, it is easy, Louise, unless you glue your card front on upside down like I did earlier. But I didn't do it this time. I caught myself. Okay, so we're just gonna add a little yellow there, and then we're going to add just a hint of pumpkin pie, because it is a fall card after all. So we're gonna bring in and just add a little hint of orange all the way around as well. And then we're going to stamp every day is a fresh start, which is absolutely true. And in the fall, it feels especially fresh because school starts. It's a brand new school year. The air is crisp and cool. The sky is bluer, it feels. So I thought this would be a perfect sentiment for a fall card. So we're just going to stamp that on our little die cut circle there. And that is going to go on with a couple of dimensionals. So we'll do a 1 and a 2 and a 3. And that just goes on in that upper left corner, right about there. And then just a little bit of bling. We're going to add some of our basics or metallics. I can't remember whether basics or metallics adhesive back sequins. So I love this sort of brown, coppery brown shade. So there we go. Done and done. Now on the inside, again, I used my little negative scrap from cutting my slit to decorate my inner panel, and then stamped the truck, part of the truck again, and stamped another sentiment from the stamp set. So there you go. Cute little slider. I got to adjust my pumpkin. I don't know why that's not, yeah, he keeps catching. I think I've got a glue dot or something in the way there I have to fix. That's okay. We can fix that. All right. So there we go. Let me bring in the other cards. So there's fall, there's Christmas, there's Barbie, which could be any time. And then a couple more that I posted earlier. This is the one I posted earlier today. Again, more of that Let's Go Fishing DSP. Works so well with this bundle for creating masculine cards. Again, I made this one a birthday card. I may just use this for my dad. And then here's another Christmas card using some of the One Horse Open Sleigh DSP. And then somewhere I have a cute little, where did I put it? Oh, there it is. It's hiding behind my laptop. I made a cute little treat holder. This is for my Christmas in July guests. Some of them have already received their boxes. If you haven't, make sure you look for your little treats inside this cute little cracker box. I thought that would be perfect for Christmas. So there you go. Some ideas with the Trucking Along bundle, online exclusive. I hope you enjoyed those. And like I said, if you haven't got this bundle yet, save this video because when the punch comes back in stock, you'll have some inspiration. Okay, everybody, have a great day. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next week for another episode of Tuesday Live at 5. Bye for now.